So we wanted to learn a little bit more about this, not only about the measles, but also about the flu that's going around the Bay Area. We're joined live right now by Dr. John Schwartzberg from UC Berkeley. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start with the measles cases there in Contra Costa County. If you were at those locations, the Macy's, the Anthropology, even that urgent care or the hospital on those dates, what symptoms should you be looking out for in yourself so many days after the exposure?
Well, if you've been vaccinated and you're completely vaccinated against measles, or if you've had measles and you know you certainly have had measles, then you don't need to worry very much. The chances of coming down with measles are very, very small. On the other hand, if you've not been vaccinated, you have a lot to worry about. The incubation period typically is around 10 to 14 days. It can be as short as around a week after your exposure. So we're getting to the point right around now where people who have been exposed may be developing symptoms. The symptoms begin with a typical respiratory tract infection that looks a lot like flu or COVID. You have fever, your eyes are red, you're coughing, you may have a sore throat, you feel really miserable. And then within a few days after this begins, what comes on is the rash that typically begins on the head and upper chest and then spreads throughout your body. That's classical measles. And you're contagious from the time you've developed symptoms, those first symptoms, so you have a long period of contagion.
Mm-hmm. And if you're vaccinated against the measles and you were at those places, though, you think that you're pretty safe from getting it?
Yeah, you know, the United States right now is around 2,000 cases of measles in 2025, the most we've had in decades. It's really tragic. Mm-hmm. Almost all of those cases have occurred in people who are not fully vaccinated.
Okay, so the flu or COVID or something real nasty has been going around. It hit my household a couple weeks ago and we just kind of went down one after the other. So it seemed like it was pretty contagious. And the symptoms, you know, fever, chills, sore throat, you know, just felt terrible. Is that what everyone's sort of getting this time around? Like, what is the flu variant that seems to be getting people the most sick?
Right. The flu variant that's making people most sick right now is called the K subvariant, and it's just a little change in the structure of the virus, but it allows it to evade our immunity a little better than the previous subvariants. So that's what's going around now, and it's really going around. We're having sort of a pokey season, not much early on in October and much of November. December, it started to go up, and it's really going up right now. So we're in the heart of the flu season. We've got a lot of cases around the country and certainly here in California. So, there's nothing about this new subvariant that makes people sicker. It gives people the classical flu. But the classical flu is a miserable disease, as you're saying, and I'm sorry you had it, because it hits you hard. High fever, terrible body aches, coughing. It feels like somebody scraped your airways and they just hurt every time you cough. Your throat may be sore, your nose is running. It's really a miserable disease.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that people have been, you know, traveling during the holidays. A lot of the events have sort of been indoors because it's been so rainy. What are you recommending on the back end when people are going back, you know, next week to reality, school, work? How can we kind of protect ourselves from spreading all these germs that everyone has been collecting at these holiday gatherings?
Right. Well, if you've got any respiratory tract infection, please stay home from work. Please don't send your kids to school if they're sick. That's the most important thing we can do for our neighbors. What you can do for yourself and your family is it's not too late to get vaccinated. The vaccine takes maybe up to a couple of weeks to give you optimal protection, but get vaccinated right now if you haven't taken advantage of getting that vaccine. It does work. It doesn't work as well as we'd like, but it can make the difference between you missing a couple of weeks of work or make you sick just for a few days if you've been vaccinated. So it can make a significant difference in how severely ill you get. And the thing to remember is that if you're older or very, very young, those two extremes of age, those are the ages that get hit the hardest with flu and send people to the hospital and tragically send some people to death.
Dr. John Schwartzberg from UC Berkeley, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Happy holidays, Happy New Year.
Well, happy holidays in spite of the flu.
In spite of the flu. K K is no good. Take a pass on that. Thank you, doctor.